Coming up on Hoosier Sports Night, Indiana softball won their first Big Ten series against Minnesota. We'll give you the recap.
And our very own Mike Badroff sat down with volleyball head coach Steve Aird to talk about the team's first playoff berth in 15 years. This is Hoosier Sports Night. Hello and welcome to Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Henry Thuss.
And I'm Kelsey Middleton.
Kelsey, how about that softball team this weekend?
Right, Allie Van Brandt absolutely had her a day.
3 home runs, unbelievable.
Crazy, absolutely
but
crazy.
A team that can't win like that right now is the Indiana men's basketball team. They lost a crucial one in Columbus as they fell to the Ohio State Buckeyes in their regular season finale. And Indiana is desperate for their 4th quad 1 win of the year, playing a fellow bubble team in the Ohio State Buckeyes. Nick Dorn to Lamar, but it is picked off, and Ohio State will take a 6-5 lead. Ohio State would continue to shoot well on the night. John Mobley, step back, deep 3 from the logo, got it. Mobley would finish with 18 points on the evening. Lamar Wilkerson drives it to the glass and won. He would lead the Hoosiers in scoring also with 18. But again, passing in the middle and posterizing him, Ohio State extends their lead, a lead that they would not give back the rest of the night. Again, deep from the logo, got it. Another 3, unbelievable. Ohio State shot 45% from 3 in this game, and you'll just keep seeing more of those shots like this one right here. Just the crowd is in awe on what is happening. Reed Bailey here would battle. He's had a nice couple last games after getting unfortunately booed at the home game. But Reed Bailey stepped back up. Tucker DeVries, every game randomly has a huge step back 3. He got that one. The Hoosiers are battling, but ultimately Ohio State would win this one despite Lamar Wilkerson having one of the greatest scoring seasons in the history of Indiana. And this one will go down 91-76, your final score. Indiana men's basketball will start their run in the Big Ten tournament tonight against Northwestern.
The Indiana softball team welcomed Minnesota to Andy Moore Field for their first Big Ten series of the season. IUSTV sports reporter Lauren Wainwright has the recap.
That's the sound of Indiana softball back in Bloomington as they host Minnesota for their first home series. In the first game, Indiana's defense held strong until the 5th inning where the Gophers tallied 2 runs. The Hoosier offense could not time up Minnesota pitcher Sydney Schwartz, resulting in a 2-0 final score.
I think for us, we're such an explosive offense. I do expect better. I think pressed a little bit. There have not been many games that we've been in that situation where the hits aren't flowing, the runs aren't flowing.
After rain delayed the start of Game 2, the Hoosiers knew they needed to bounce back. Sophomore pitcher Ella Trout and the Indiana defense were dominant all day. Trout threw a complete game and her team had her back. The offense was able to put 2 runs on the board, and a game-ending double play by her defense secured the win.
I had 2 strikeouts in 7 innings. It doesn't take strikeouts to win games. Our defense did.
Game 3 saw freshman pitcher Aubrey Hooks getting her first start at Andy Moore Field. It was a pitcher's duel until the 5th when the Hoosiers offense got rolling. Madeline Strader hit her first career home run, and her teammates kept the momentum going. The Indiana bats warmed up at just the right time.
It's not always about getting doubles and stuff. It's about getting the game winners up the middle, and so all of us can contribute to that is what helps a lot.
After a 6-4 victory, the Hoosiers take the series 2-1 here at Andy Moore Field in Bloomington, Indiana. For IUSTV Sports, I'm Lauren Wainwright.
The Hoosiers are back at Andy Moore Field this weekend as they take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights in a 3-game series.
Championship season looks good on the Hoosiers. We've seen this before. Indiana diving is off to a strong start in the NCAA Zone C diving championships. 5 Hoosiers have officially qualified for the 2026 NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships after day 1 of the competition at Jones Natatorium on the campus of Eastern Michigan University. On the men's 3-meter springboard, 3 Indiana divers secured their spots. Sophomore Joshua Sollenberger led the way, winning the event with a score of 782.05. Senior Maxwell Weinrich placed 4th with a 745.75, while redshirt freshman Aiden Sadler finished 9th with a 696.45. All 3 earned NCAA qualifying bids. On the women's side, Indiana dominated the 1-meter springboard. Juniors Ella Roselli and Lily Whitty posted the top 2 scores in the field. Roselli finished first with a 6.12, and Whitty followed closely behind in second with a 5.99.65, both punching their tickets to the NCAA championships. The Hoosiers will have more chances to qualify throughout March.
The Indiana women's tennis team split a pair of matches on Saturday at the IU Tennis Center, losing to Purdue before bouncing back with a shutout win over Southern Indiana. Indiana started Saturday off with a rivalry match versus Purdue. Freshman Helani Williams dominantly won both of her sets for the singles point, while freshman Nicole Teodescu battled hard through 3 sets to secure a point. However, the Boilermakers were just too much for the Hoosiers, winning 4-2, taking the doubles point and securing singles on courts 1, 2, and 6. The Hoosiers were able to turn things around heading into their second match of the day. Sweeping Southern Indiana 4-0, Indiana was able to grab the doubles point by winning 2 quick matches, and all 6 women carried this momentum into singles, where they didn't lose a single set in the match. Indiana looks to build on what they did versus Southern Indiana on Saturday at noon, back at the IU Tennis Center versus Wisconsin.
Coming up after the break, we crown our Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week.
And we go over Indiana baseball's win over Wright State. This is Hoosier Sports Night.
Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Night.
Now joining us in studio for this week's Hoosier Highlight is our very own Grace Lesher.
Thanks, guys. This week's Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week goes to softball's Ella Trout. The sophomore pitcher played a big role in Indiana's wins over Minnesota last weekend, helping the team to go 2-1 on the series. On Saturday, she struck out 2 and allowed 3 hits. On Sunday, she finished it for the Hoosiers late in the game with her first career save. Trout pitched a total of 8 innings on the weekend and did not allow a single run. She did not walk any batters and allowed only 4 base runners. On Tuesday night, in a win over Loyola, she stepped up in relief for the Hoosiers, pitching 3 innings with 3 strikeouts and 1 walk. That's all I have for this week's Hoosier Highlight. Back to you guys.
Indiana baseball defeated Wright State on a midweek matchup on Tuesday. Our Grace Lesher has the recap.
Indiana baseball took down Wright State 12-4 here at Bart Kaufman Field. The Hoosiers had a strong start, scoring 4 runs in the first inning, largely thanks to a Caleb Koski home run, his first of the year. Koski also finished the game with a 2-run RBI. Wright State brought it close, scoring 1 run in the second inning and 2 in the fourth. Both teams went scoreless in the 5th inning. Indiana gained their momentum back in the 6th, scoring 3 runs. In the last few innings of the game, Indiana was able to showcase more of an offensive identity than what was previously seen this season and bring their record to 7-9.
What we did tonight was much more of what I envisioned us doing. I still thought we had opportunities to take ball 4 in several moments where we expand down. You got to go back to 2-2 and a 3-2 count. But it really helps a ton when Will Moore's on base 5 or 6 times and gets the offense going. Hogan was really good tonight. So that opens it up.
They will look to continue these winning ways as they travel to Eugene to resume conference play as they take on Oregon. For IUSTV Sports, I'm Grace Lesher.
Indiana baseball will look to carry this momentum back into conference play this weekend as they travel to Eugene, Oregon to face the Ducks.
As spring rolls back into town, so does spring ball for many Indiana sports, including IU women's volleyball. Our Mike Badroff sat down with the head coach Steve Aird and took a look back at the team's historic 2025 season, while also looking forward to what the team has in store.
The national spotlight shined brightly on the historic IU football journey, but just down the street from Memorial Stadium, the lights gleamed on a different team right inside of Wilkinson Hall. For the first time in 15 seasons, the Indiana women's volleyball team took a trip to the postseason, set the program record for single-season wins, and became the greatest team in program history. At the head of it all was this man right here.
Your first playoff berth at your time here in IU. How did you do that? How are you feeling about it? And looking back at that experience in this season, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Finally, maybe, I think, we've had some really good teams and we've recruited well and had good coaches and good players. The league is really, really tough.
He would be the first to admit he didn't do it alone, coupled with an experienced coaching staff, community support, and most importantly, a very young all-star team.
So, this is the ultimate team game. It's 6 people in a 30-by-30 box. You can't just be a superstar. It's not basketball where you can get out of the way and run a 1-4 low and just let your best player go. So we needed contributions across the board from everyone, and it was a great mix of veterans and rookies, but everyone was pulling the chain the same way.
Despite the numerous accolades, there's one moment that stands out above the rest. The one win at his alma mater, sweeping Penn State in State College for the first time in IU history.
Hoosier history!
What I want my players to feel at IU is how I feel when I go back to Penn State and hear the alma mater or the fight song or be there with the people I went and played with. It's just special,
Now, with a young returning crew, a new contract extension through the 2031 season, and a respect for his competition, Aird is taking the next chapter, day by day, morning by morning.
I know it's coach speak and it's kind of BS, but it's the truth. It's every morning I wake up, I'm like, how do we get a little bit better today? How do we affect a player? How do we help someone grow in a space that will help the program be a little bit better? And that's kind of the relentless pursuit of what we try to do.
Stay on target.
That's right.
You can see them next month on April 10th as they will host the University of Kentucky in Wilkinson Hall for the start of their spring schedule.
Indiana Wrestling competed at the Big Ten Championships last weekend and finished in 10th place as a team. 4 Hoosiers secured automatic bids to the NCAA Championships, which will take place in Cleveland later this month. Jacob Moran headlined the action for the Hoosiers, finishing in 4th place at 125 pounds. Gabe Sollers also finished in 4th place at 197 pounds, marking Indiana's best individual performances at the tournament since 2012. With at-large selections for the NCAA Championships still to come, Indiana prepares for the final event of a historic season.
Before we head out, our very own Kellen Murphy joins us in studio for this week's Candy Stripe calendar. Kellen?
Thanks, guys. The Hoosiers have a packed weekend. Let's take a look at what's coming up. To start, track and field travels to Fayetteville, Arkansas to compete in the NCAA Championship all weekend. Also throughout the weekend, softball will take on Rutgers at Andy Moore Field. They start Friday at 6. Meanwhile, baseball will hit the road and head to Eugene for a weekend series against Oregon starting at 7:05 p.m. You can catch the series live on Big Ten Plus. On Saturday, women's tennis kicks off here in Bloomington against the Wisconsin Badgers at noon. Women's water polo competes in a doubleheader in San Diego against Princeton and Long Beach State. The weekend wraps up on Sunday, starting with women's tennis at noon. They host Minnesota. Men's golf travels to Georgia to compete in the Schenkel Invitational. Lastly, men's tennis travels to Washington to take on the Huskies at noon. That's all I've got for the Candy Stripe calendar. Back to you.
Thanks, and that's our show for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at IUSTV Sports to keep up with all the latest in IU athletics. For our production crew behind us, I'm Kelsey Middleton.
And I'm Henry Thuss. We'll see you after spring break.
That was great.
That's fire.
Yeah. That was, no.